Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Oh my gosh, that's so loud. Dear darling, and go see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. I don't actually know if that, I was going to say that, I did say that was so loud when I looked up my volume, and it's exactly the same volume as it always is, so who even knows what's going on? But yeah. What are we going to talk about today? I don't really know. As I sort of get comfortable here. Is there anything particularly interesting happening? I got two new USB-C cables, finally, actually fast charging ones. But good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 8:32 p.m. on Thursday, April 9th, 2026. I did it because I was like, it's probably time. Because I've been using this old USB-A to USB-C cable this entire time, and it's been relatively slow, but now I have two. Now I have a USB-C and a USB-A to USB-C, one coming off my computer, which is probably limited by the voltage I can be outputted from there. But the reason I did it as well is I felt like it was probably time for me to get a different battery bank. Nothing wrong with a little wrong with my previous one. It's certainly got some battery, but it charges very, very slowly because it's still using USB-A to USB-C, because it doesn't have USB-C as output. I think it only has USB-C as input. So I got a new one from Anchor, and it says charging behind me. What percentage is it on? Does that say 6? So I'm 39%. So certainly, it's going to take a little while for it to charge. It hasn't been charging for that long, mind you. But yeah, what else are we talking about? My stomach definitely feels a little bit weird today. But you know, we just grin and bear it. And yeah, what else? I don't know. I don't really have much of a way of a conversation topic, to be honest. I'm not going to talk about USB cables this entire time. That's insanity. Hooked on a feeling. Yeah. I'm trying to think of literally anything. My mind's just going right now. Yeah, I don't know. I would say that right now, in the UK at least, or England, I should say. The weather's at a very awkward period, in my opinion, where it's it's becoming warm enough now, where it's obviously it's too warm to be wearing winter clothes, or even autumny clothes. It's sort of skipped out the entire spring section, I think. But it's kind of not fully out, so I'm just most of the days nowadays I wake up and I'm okay, I don't know what sort of type of clothing I should be wearing today, to be honest. You know, well, winter's always very easy, you know, I think, because it's oh yeah, you can wear anything which is a sweater, etc, etc, etc. But you know, springtime surely is oh, you know, lighter layers about something, but spring has such, and autumn can do as well, has such variation, I suppose, because it's oh, summer weather can also kind of come along as not today, yeah, the day before, no, maybe it was yesterday, it was actually incredibly warm, and I was still wearing my winter, I had a hoodie and the matching coordinated trousers with it, and I was just this is too warm right now. So right now, I mean, it's not very exciting. I'm wearing a t-shirt, zip-up hoodie, and some leggings, which is, I mean, not the most exciting thing in the world, but this is springtime clothing. But it's also I feel a t-shirt is too cold, but I also feel with a hoodie, is it too much? I don't know. Maybe I should wear it half off, that sort of thing. That's probably a fun way to do it. But yeah. I don't really know what to talk about. I feel every time my stomach starts feeling a bit weird, it's too distracting to be oh yeah, I can think of a cohesive topic. You know what, something I can talk about, which I haven't spoken about for ages, is and by ages it's something I wanted to bring up a while back, but color palettes. It's the color analysis thing, because I recently had this done for myself, and it was a very interesting situation, very fortunate that I even could do this. But if you don't know what color analysis is, it's basically this concept that there are like these groupings or these general groupings of color palettes which will probably suit you pretty well, essentially. And they're divided by seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. And the general idea is that every single person has a color palette which suits them pretty well, where it's like, you know, I mean, you might have had this experience before when you're buying clothes, where you might buy something, or maybe even you've seen someone wear something, you'd be like, oh, that looks so good, I want to get one of those for myself. And then you like try it on for yourself, or you try and get one, and you're like, why does this look so weird on me? I mean, sometimes it, you know, everyone's different, you know, shapes and builds, and, you know, maybe it's not the same clothing, but one major thing which people tend to underrate is definitely the color of something. Some colours look very flattering on some people, and some colours just also don't, to be honest. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, that's just as by the nature of how, like, it's something to do, like, obviously your skin tone, and then like undertones you have in your skin as well, like all these different sort of things coming together. I'm not an expert, you'll have to forgive me on it, I don't really know. But yeah, I recently had a bit of this opportunity where basically a professional color analysis matcher person came in and was like, oh yeah, you know, everyone's gonna find their sort of like color palette, and I was like, cool. So I did mine, and I already have like a decent idea of what I had, but never confirmed. Like, I always thought I was winter, but I wasn't like super sure. Because like one major thing of, you know, that color affects is like jewelry you wear. Like, I've spoken about it before, where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that silver jewelry looks way better on me than gold jewelry. Like, I do have some gold jewelry, but like mainly it was to sort of like try it out, but like I really think the silver one looks way better on me. And it basically was confirmed by that, because we did a color matching, which is basically you wear this like white bib essentially to make yourself as neutral as possible, and then you just put different colors next to you, and then I don't necessarily know what the color matcher is looking for, except for just like, does it look good, which is what I was looking for. But she also pointed out things being like, oh, you know, the color like from underneath your chin, like different colors reflect differently on different skin tones and different undertones, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Because like one thing I remember is like we like put like this bright orange on or something, and we were both like, this immediately looks wrong, and I was like, why does this look so wrong? And then she's like, oh, it's I mean, it could be like a variety of different things, like it's not complementary to your the undertones you have or something, and it's sort of like what you are. But in this one I remember it's because the orange like really reflected brightly up onto my face, which I guess it like subtly muddled the silhouette and the shape and didn't look particularly flattering. How so? I don't know, but it doesn't look, but she was right, is all I can say. And the crazy thing is like there's such a built-in instinct for it, because like she would try colours, and then I would be like, yes, this looks good, or like, oh, I'm not really a fan of this one. And it basically every single colour aligned with these colour palettes. So it turns out, you know, these people who do fashion do know what they're talking about, unsurprisingly. So yeah, it was very basically confirmed, and she was basically like, you're like one of the most definite winters I've ever seen. And I was like, okay, that's good to know. That means I know exactly which colours that I should be getting. But you know, the actual season doesn't matter too much, to be honest. Like, the seasonal names are just names. Like, there are bright colours in winter as well, and there are dull colours in summer as well. You know, the taxonomical divide here is just for the purposes of easy grouping, because really what it is, it's like, let's see, I think it's spring and autumn are both bright, while summer and winter are both not dark, but I get a deep, I think is the colour, the term they use. And then, no, is that right? It's something like that. And then, I forget which way around it is. No, I think that's right. And then summer and autumn, no, sorry, spring and autumn are both very warm, or summer and winter are both cool, spring and autumn are both warm, spring and summer are both bright, and then autumn and winter are both deep. I think that was it. Which doesn't mean that there aren't, of course, light colours in winter or dark colours in spring and summer palettes. It's just like there's different types, you know, of darkness. And of course, the seasons don't really matter. It doesn't say anything about like who you are, your personality, or whatever. It's not a personality, but again, it's just like a nice, easy categorization name. And it was very interesting to see, because there were like other people doing it as well, and we were like, trying to find out who was what, and it was like, oh, autumn was very common, winter I think was also very common, spring was like somewhat common, and then like summer was like literally like 2 people or something got summer, because apparently summer's a very rare one. And I was like, oh, that's all very fascinating. And I even remember speaking to her, because I was just like, well, you know, it's a bit of a shame that, you know, an entire like palette that's sort of like cut up. I was like, how would you make this, how, like when we put that bright orange away, it's like, how would you make that work? And then it's not so much, I suppose, it's sort of like, if you want to have it as a main color, it basically probably won't work a lot of the time. But it's sort of like, you can still have it as like an accent color or something more minute, or you incorporate it in a way with other colors which are complementary with itself or something, you know. But there are ways to make colors work. It's just like, if, you know, as like a sort of rule of thumb, if you want to abide by, is you take the colors, these colors which look which will generally look pretty good, and then you can use them as well. So I've been meaning to get to sort of expand out my wardrobe with these colors, because a lot of these colors I don't really have, because one of them I did have was black and white, obviously. Well, apparently, you know, black and white doesn't always look good on everyone, but, you know, is strictly in the winter. Not all the palettes have it or something like that. But there were some other colours which I was like, oh, you know, this is kind of cool, and I wouldn't think about that. There was like this sort of like palish yellow colour, which I was like, yeah, I have a shirt which looks exactly like this, and it's one of my favourite shirts. There was like this really deep like jade colour of green, and I was like, whoa, this actually looks great. I own nothing in this colour. So I'm just like, that's something I definitely should get. And I was like, I already own a lot of like pastel looking blues and purples, and lo and behold, half the colour palette seems to be like pastel looking blues and purples, and I was like, well, I mean, that's just kind of like instinct at play there. But yeah, I think one of them, which was also very interesting, was like this really sort of like bright pinkish red colour, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect this to work as well as it did. But I'm like, because I was like, I have something which is red, because I wear it for Christmas, and I wear it for Chinese New Year, because it's like, that's a lucky colour for Chinese New Year, and then for Christmas, obviously, you kind of wear red. But it's a sort of thing where it's also like, oh, you know, but I don't own a lot of things in red, because I was like, I feel like I can never make it work, you know? And it's just like, oh, well, perhaps it's because I've been buying the wrong shade of red this entire time. And I'm like, whoa. Who'd have thunk it, essentially? So yeah, I mean, now at least I have an idea. I'm just like, oh, you know, I know what things I could buy, and what things would be useful. So now I'm sort of like, I need to go on Vinted and start like looking to try and find some things which I'm just like, yes, this is the colour scheme I want, etc, etc. You get me? Which is, it brings a new excitement, I think. In some ways it can be, I think, rather difficult to necessarily find exactly what you want, but at the same time it's sort of like, oh, that therein lies the excitement. Doesn't mean it's going to necessarily stop me if I buy something and it's not the exact shade of something that I should wear. Doesn't mean you can't wear it, but it's sort of like, if you're wanting to find things which help complement your skin tone or colour or whatever, then this is a good place to start looking. Because that's a thing which is super difficult, is finding something which is like, oh yeah, this is exactly within your colour palette. But it's something, you know, I'm just like, it's nice to have basically a confirmation about it. Like the bare minimum, the confirmation of just knowing that silver, yes, I should be wearing silver jewellery. Because there's always a thing where it's like, to me it looks like silver jewellery looks so much better than gold jewellery. But I'm like, what if I'm wrong? What if I just don't know what I'm talking about? So if anything, I think it's renewed some confidence in myself, where it's sort of like, oh yeah, you know, I can now believe myself when I'm like, oh yes, I know this looks good on me. It's also interesting as well, because like grey is sort of a thing where it's like, oh, the grey's okay-ish, but I'm like, I never like super loved it, but it's like, it depends on what type of grey, you know. I need like a bluish grey rather than like a, I don't know, like a greenish grey or something, or yellowish grey. So I'm looking at the colour palette that's been given. There's a lot on here, unsurprisingly. But there's like some of these colours like I would like. Oh, and the other thing as well, it's like some of these colours were, she was also like, I mean, these are also great choices for like if you want to dye your hair, which I always keep talking about potentially wanting to do, or if you want to paint your nails a certain colour. And I was like, oh, fascinating. I mean, I think the main takeaway though is like, there's a lot more brighter colours in here than I would expect. Because I'm like, I feel like I usually favour the softer, more like pastel-like colours. And that's mainly because I'm like, I know this will look good, I know this will work. But I'm like, I mean, she's basically like, oh, here are some bright colours which will work for you. Why didn't you try those instead? And I'm just like, well, you know, this gives me a direction. Am I going to love absolutely everything I see in that bright colour? No, probably not. But there's a chance, you know? So yeah, I will say there's an unbelievable amount of cool colours in here, blues and pinks. But there are some very bright reds as well. But there's also sort of thing where it's like, well, now I need to, you know, there should be a clothing store which has things sorted out by like these colour palettes. So it'd be easier to just to be like, oh yeah. I want to buy from like the winter colour palette section and just be like, yeah, this will look good, this will look good, this will look good. Because now I have to like cross-reference this chart every single time. Because while it's not the be-all end-all, certainly, it's the sort of thing where it's like, it'll be useful as a sort of like reference to be like, hey, you know, try and keep your eye out for this sort of colour because you'll probably like how it looks on you. I think the thing that's most interesting to me is that there are no orange colours in this colour palette. So apparently orange just looks awful to me, which I also kind of agree with. I don't think I own anything orange because I don't think I've liked the look of anything orange on me. I mean, technically the orange on there is like brown, because I guess brown is most of the time a shade of orange, but still, I just found that absolutely fascinating, being like, there is some sort of like, I think it's easier to sort of dismiss it as like a whatever sort of thing, but I mean, there's obviously some sort of subconscious thing that even as to the untrained eye, you can still sort of identify. And being able to do that, I don't know, I thought it was a very exciting thing to be like, yes, now I know, now I can see certain things that work. Like, I can tell you, there are no oranges on here, there's only 3 yellows out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 18, 36, 72. So out of 80 colours, there are 3 yellows. I mean, maybe you could say 6 if you count these sort of eggshell colours as yellows, which technically they are. But there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 blues. And then an absolute like 16 or something, no, 15 purples, I think, as well. And then like 12 greens. There's still actually quite a lot of reds, to be honest, as well. There's like 12 reds too. Reds and, well, actually, I think a lot of it's pink as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. So, I mean, obviously, something just to sort of keep in mind. And going forward, like, I mean, I have spoken about wanting to dye my hair, and I think it's given me sort of like reinforcement to be like, oh yeah, this would be a good colour to dye your hair because you'll probably like what it looks like. Anyway, on that note, I think I'll round this episode up here. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dazzling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, whoa, whoa. That's alright. Bye bye for now.